علي من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيد الخلق المرسلين سيدنا نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا، علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما، وارنا الحق وارزقنا اتباعه، وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه، وجعلنا من الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون احسنه، واخرنا برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين آمين. I want to bring to you one example to see how important it means to learn our deen. One of the brothers, I saw him, he was making sujood on the forehead and not allowing his nose to touch the floor or the ground. So he was doing this for many times. Now, after the fatwa of the Imam bin Baz, his salah is what? Because part of the conditions of the sujood that you have to perform sujood using 7 members, and one of the 7 members is the forehead with the nose. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said the forehead and he was pointing to his nose, ﷺ, which means that the nose and forehead is one member. And the other member is 2 hands and 2 knees and the 2 legs toes and 2 toes. So if we know, then we can perform. But the problem if we don't know. Now, if we don't know, this is another problem because the scholars have different opinions. Some of the scholars said that you must learn. It is your responsibility to learn how to perform everything perfectly. And some of the scholars said that is allowed. It is allowed because you don't know. Now, why we put ourselves in such a situation that we are in doubt? What we are doing is good or bad? Is it correct or not correct? So that's why it is asked that we need to learn our deen. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ, he said, seeking knowledge is farz for a person. Farz. And the farz here, you are not required to be a scholar. The farz is to know how to perform your deen, how to pray, how to make wudu, how to make taharah, and what is the condition for the taharah, and etc. Those essentials and basics, it's must that every Muslim should learn. And that's why we are doing these lectures. So it is important for every Muslim to learn his deen. So last time we talked about the wudu, and breaking of wudu, to break the wudu and what not break the wudu. And today we're going to talk inshallah about the taharah. And the taharah and khabath. So there's 2 expressions in fiqh that we need to understand what the meaning of it. So the first expression is called al-hadath al-asghar. Al-hadath al-asghar means that something comes out either from your front aura or back aura. This is called hadath asghar. Anything comes out, okay, without desire, without shahwa. So your normal pee or poo or gas. This is called hadath asghar. This is the small breaking of wudu. And the second one is the hadath akbar, which is the big breaking of the wudu, which is done by the shahwa or by the by a shahwa. So the thing which is coming out from your front aura or back aura, it is called khabath. And this is the expression in the fiqh that when you hear khabath, it means that the dirt which can either pee or poo. This is called khabath in the fiqh. So how we remove the khabath? So first thing in the deen that you need to use the water to remove the khabath, which is the pee or poo. So water is the first essential. Now, if the water is not there, then you can use something else which we are going to talk about. Now, the khabath, as I mentioned, so the scholars, they divide it into 3 categories. The first category, that you need to wash it out, and the second one, you just need to spray water on it, which I know some people, they don't know this theory. And the third one, you just make a fraction together, and that's it. So the first khabath is either the pee or the poo that you need to wash it with water. So to remove it, to clean your body or your clothes, there is khabath on it. So either the pee or poo, so you need to use water to take it out. And this is called the medium najasa, medium or moderate najasa. You understand what I'm saying? Najasa is something which is called by Sharia that is not pure, means not tahar. It's not tahar. So the najasa has something called moderate najasa, which is the pee or poo. And then the second one is called the biggest najasa, which is the saliva of the dog. Now we are in this country, so many dogs, so we need to know what to do if the dog comes to yourself or his saliva touches your body or touches your clothes. So the Prophet ﷺ said about dog. So if the dog eats from your food or drink from your pot, then you have to wash it 7 times. One of it should be with the sand or with the dust. So now we understand that najas to remove the khabath or to remove the najas, number 1, you need to wash with water. So part of it is the medium najas, which is the pee or the poo, or the biggest najas, which is the saliva of the dog. Now the second category is called the light najas. The light najas. So we talk about moderate najas, we talk about the extreme or the biggest najas. Now the light najas, it is, as the ulama, as far as they said, it is the madhi. The madhi, it is that thing, it's a clear liquid which comes out from your front aura when there is a desire, when there is shahwa, when there is a shahwa. So this one is not many. Okay, many is the one which is thick and white. This is called madhi. But we're talking about the madhi. So the madhi can come out either by shahwa or from the cold. Sometimes because it's cold, it comes out. So this is called the light najas. And in order to clean it, you don't need to wash it. You need only just to spray water on it. To spray water on it because it is light najas. It's alive najas. So you just spray water on the area where this mani, which is the clear water comes out from your food. Clear water. And the second theory, of the light najas, it is the urine of the boy, which is the infant boy, not girl. Okay? Who is not yet eat food. Is the infant who is still eating milk. Only the boy, not the girl. So the scholars differentiate between boy and girl in this situation. So the light najas is the boy urine who is still eating only milk, not food at all. Then the third one, the najas which you only need to grab or grind together. Okay. So this one is the najas which is touching your shoes and or touching your cloth. Or I mean the bottom of your cloth. So the scholar said there was an incident where the Prophet ﷺ, he was praying the first Imam, and while he was praying, wearing his shoes on, so suddenly he took his shoes out. He removed his shoes. So the companion asked him after the prayer is finished, what happened? Why you remove your shoes, Ya Rasulullah ﷺ? He said that Jibreel comes to me to take off my shoes because there was some najas, means it was some poop on the shoes of the Prophet ﷺ. So what the Prophet ﷺ did, he just took his shoes and he strapped or friction both leather and that's it. Now the scholars based on this idea, they said also it is applied on the woman long dress because the woman dress is usually too long so that it is touching the floor while she moves. So if the floor contains some najas, some maybe urine or pee or poo or whatever is there, so the scholar said while he is moving with her dress, so the dress because it's long, so it is touching the floor of the ground all the time. So there it goes with her movement. So it is considered that it is clean. It is considered is clean. So we don't need to panic. Okay, whenever there's some dirt comes on our shoes or whatever on our clothes. So as I mentioned in previous lecture, if you know that there's some najas on your clothes, you need to remove before you pray. But if you don't know and you just pray and you have no idea that there's some najas, so after you finish your prayer, you discover that there was some najas on your clothes, so your salah is not void. Your salah, inshallah, is accepted. Then after that you can eat with najas. Now, the water which we are using to remove the najas. So the water, as the Imam described or recited, أنزل عليكم ماء ليطهركم. So water which comes from rain, that is water which is pure. And this is water which we usually use to clean our bodies, to clean the dirt. So the water has to be on its original created situation. Means it is water. Now, can I use something, let's say water is mixed with something else. Can I use it for wudu? Can I use it for ghusl? So this is what we want to understand and learn. So, to remove the khabath from your clothes or from your shoes, so the scholars have different opinions. For example, I have, one pot of tea. So can I use this tea to remove the najas from my clothes? What do you think? So you have a pot of tea, instead of throwing tea, so you want to use it to just remove the dirt. So you discover there is some najas on your clothes. So the scholars have different opinion. So they say to remove the najas, you can still use any kind of material to remove the najas. Even if it is not a clear water. Even if it is not a clear water. Why? They say because in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, in Masjid Nawawi, so dogs used to pass the masjid, and sometimes the dogs can make a pee in the masjid. And the Prophet ﷺ did not order the companions to wash the pee with water. So he just leave it dry. So the Prophet ﷺ considered the sunlight is a way of cleaning this pee of the dogs. So based on that, so the scholars said you can use other than water to wash the najas away, wash the najas out. And in another scenario, one time one Arabi or a Bedouin man, he came to the masjid and he peed in the masjid. So the companions started getting panic and shouting. So the Prophet ﷺ told him, do not shout, stay calm until he finished his pee. So when he finished the pee, then he called the guy and told them, this is a place of prayer, and pee is not allowed here. Then he ordered the companions to bring one big pot of water and they throw it over the pee, and he considered this is a cleaning process. So now we need to learn about the water which we are going to use. Now, for example, as I mentioned to the previous lecture, if somebody wants to go for swimming, can he consider the swimming is wudu? Yes, he can if he make niyyah. He can. So before he go into the water, he should have niyyah. So his intention is to make wudu. Then he jump or he goes into the swimming pool and he swim, then he come out, and it is considered as he make wudu. Okay, even if he didn't do the mouth wash and nose wash. Why? Because based on Imam Shafi'i opinion, he said the mouth and nose wash is the sunnah. It's not first in water. So after that, so the face and the hands and the head and the feet all is washed when he is swimming. Now what if some of the case he pee in the swimming pool? So does the rule still accepted to have the wudu? So that's what we need to understand. Now, the first scenario, if there is a lot of water means big amount of water, and there is some small amount of najas comes into the water, so it does not change any specification of water. And specification of water here, scholars means by 3 categories of water. Number 1, the color. Number 2, the smell, correct. And number 3, the taste. So if any of these quality of the water change, then the water becomes unsuitable for Taharah. So the smell, the color, and the taste. So a small amount of najas comes into water, a big amount of water. It doesn't appear and doesn't change. So the scholars, all of the scholars agreed that the water is still tahar, still good and clean. The second scenario, if big amount of water has affected with some najas, which this najas change some of the water quality. Either the color becomes different, or the smell of the color becomes different, or the taste of the water becomes also different. So now all scholars agree that this water is najas, you cannot use it for wudu or for tahar or for ghusl. Now the third scenario, if a small amount of water affected by some najas, and that just changes some of the aspect of the water, so all scholars agreed that this water is not suitable for cleaning or for tahar. So all the scholars agreed on these three categories. Only the fourth category has two different opinions. So the fifth category is a small amount of water which some najas dropped in water and did not change any of the water qualities. For example, you have a pot of water and you have soup. So the soup dropped in water, but you immediately take out the soup. Okay? So now water is still clean. There is no change in the color, and the smell did not change. There is no smell of soap, or the taste of the water still, it's a water taste. So scholars here, they have two opinions. So first opinion, some of these scholars, they say no, it is not considered as clean, you cannot use it for tahara. The other scholars, they say no, it is still clean and accepted for tahara. Why? Because they said, because the basic three theories never changed. That's why they consider that water is still valid and usable for tahara, and their reference is that incident of that man who pee in the masjid, and which is more reasonable opinion. So, for example, you have some water, jug full of water, you want to use it for ghusl. Incidentally, you are carrying tea, for example. So the 3 drops goes into this pot of water. So that tea drops into the water. It did not change the water color. It did not change the taste of the water, and it did not change the smell of water. So it is considered that this water is still valid, and still you can use it for tahara. Now, the opinion of the scholars, they said it is important that you wash these 3 degrees for any water. The quality of the color, the quality of the smell, and the quality of the taste. If this tea is still original, means it's still genuine, it means that water is still usable for the tahara. Now, the usable water, and the usable water, can I use the usable water for my wudu? So the usable water here, the scholars, they said, it is the water which is used for either wudu or for ghusl. The usable water means the used water. It's used water. So their opinion is based on Prophet ﷺ, what he used to do. So the Prophet ﷺ, when he was doing his wudu, so he washed his face, then he washed his hands, ﷺ, then the drop of water which falling from his beard, he take it with his hands, and then he smear it with his head. He smear it on his head. So based on that, the scholars, they said, the drops of water or the used water from wudu, you still can use it for wudu again. And this is the opinion of most of the scholars, or Jumhur ulama. And there is also some incident where the water drops from the Prophet when he used to make his wudu. So the companion radiallahu anhum used to come and collect the water which dropped from the Prophet wudu in order for them to use it for their treatment, for their illness, etc. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was noticed one time Jabir radiallahu anhu, he was sick. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after he made his own wudu, he bring the used water for the wudu of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he poured it on the head of Jabir radiallahu anhu. So based on these 2 incidents, so the scholars decided that the used water for wudu is tahir, is clean, and can be used again for wudu or for ghusl. Now the next topic, what is called su'ila. So what is the su'ila? The su'il means it is the remaining of the water after somebody drink from it. So you drink from this one, for example, from this bottle, I drink half. So the other half is called su'r. Su'r means it is the remaining of the water after someone drink from that pot. So about the human being, so in the Sharia, in the fiqh, so human being is tahir. So when you drink from any water, so the remaining of the water after you use it, it is tahir. And it was narrated in this era that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to drink from the same glass where Aisha used to drink. So Aisha used to drink, then Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to use the same glass and drink from the remaining of the water after Aisha, he drank from that. Now, what about the animal? If any animal drink from water, is that water considered tahir or najas? Now, we have to, the scholars, they differentiate between 2 types of animals. The first type of animal, it's called the animals which is halal to eat, and the other type, animals which is haram to eat. So they said animals which is halal to eat, they said the source or the remaining of the water from that animal. So for example, you have a lamp, and lamp drink from the pot. Is the remaining of the water in that pot tahir or najas? So the scholar agreed, it is tahir. So if the color did not change, this is the 3 things we always look: the color, the smell, and the taste. If any of these 3 did not change, then you can use it for your tahur, for your wudu, for your ghusl. Now, other animal which is haram animal to eat, so they said it is haram. Do not use it because it is najas. So, but the scholars, they said it is big amount. For example, there is a pond. Because there was an incident that companions, they asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, what about the the lions and the dog, they come and they drink from the big pond. Is that pond not become najas? Can we use it for our tahur, for our wudu ghusl? So the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, this is the rule. He said, if the amount of water was more than 2, he said, kulla means 2 containers of water. So he said, it won't carry najis, means that just will not affect this water. So the scholars said, so what is the quantity which the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is talking about? So the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said about 2 containers. At that time, so the Arab, they recognized the container by the name of qulla. And the qulla is equal to 150 liters. So now, the Prophet ﷺ explained, if the amount of water is more than 300 liters of water, it won't carry any najis. So if a dog drink from pond, or let's say a wolf, or any other type of any animal which is not allowed to eat it, so it won't affect that pond. Now, what about the cat? So the cat is different scenario, because the cat, we're not allowed to eat the cat meat. So the Prophet ﷺ, when he was asked, he told the exception is the cat, because the cat is living with you in your homes, so is always clean. So the mean of the water, if that cat drinks from any pot, so that water is still considered as clean and usable for your tahur and for your water. Now, the dog has a specific instruction from the Prophet ﷺ. So if the dog eat or drink from any pot you use, so the Prophet ﷺ, he said you have to clean that pot 7 times with water. One of them you should mix it to dust. So some people, they don't understand the technique here. So the Prophet ﷺ said one of them should be with dust. Means you don't need to bring dust and put in the pot. You need to mix the dust with the water. So with the water and mix it with dust or soil, and then you clean it with the dust and soil. This is the first time. Should be with soil and water, and then 6 more times with only water. So this is the instruction from the Prophet ﷺ. Why? Because the saliva of the dog contains a very harmful bacteria for a human being, and that's why you need to wash it. Now, the second question: what if I was walking or I was sitting and then the dog comes and smelling, or his saliva touches my cloth? Then what should I do? So the answer is, the scholar, they said, that is a special condition. 7 times you need to wash, because you are using a pot for your food or drink. But for cloth, it's only considered as najas. So you need just to wash it and wash a normal water. So you just put water on it, and that water should take the najas away from your cloth. And what about pigs or pork? So they said pigs or pork is all najas. So pork and anything from the pork touches your body or your cloth, so that is considered najas. You need to take it out. So about nose in this country, one time I would buy a jacket, and I noticed that jacket looks different. I saw the hair, when it comes out from jacket, it leaves, after they remove hair, it leaves a dark spot. So I noticed that dark spot of the hair is separated, it's not dense. Like, when you see, for example, the cow, or the ox, or the lamb, or the goat, the hair is dense, while the pigs, their hair is not dense. So I noticed that hair is different, looks different. So I asked the sir, what kind of skin is that? So she said, this is the skin of pork skin. So now there's a question, can I use that jacket or not? So to be on the safe side, not use it, because there's 2 different opinions from the scholars. So some of the scholars, they said the pork skin is not just, you cannot use it at all, even it goes through chemical process. But some other opinions, they said it is acceptable if it goes through the chemical process, clean it. But to be on the safe side, stay away from it. This is to be on the safe side, and this is you what you want to decide. Now we'll talk about the 10 minutes remaining for us. The rules for pee and poo. This is very important for every Muslim. There's a rules, and the Prophet teaches us rules. We need to learn these rules. And the Jew, they were very jealous from Muslimin, and they used to always say to the companions, your dear and your Prophet, they never left anything for you without explanation, even the way how you pee and you make the poo, he teaches you. So that's why they are jealous from Muslimin, because everything for the Muslimin is described and explained by the Prophet. Nothing's hidden in our deen, and everything is crystal clear, and thus we need to learn. So in removing the pee and poo, okay, there's 2 processes in the fiqh. So the first process is called istinja, and the second process is called istijmar. Okay, 2 processes. So the first process is called istinja. Istinja means using water to clean everything. And this process, it cleans everything and nothing left behind. Means there's no any trace of dirt still there. After using the water, so all the dirt or pee and the poo will wash up and to be clean 100%. While al-istijmar is a different process. So istijmar, the companions, as they are taught by the Prophet ﷺ, they used to use the stones for cleaning, because at that time water was not available like nowadays. The water was so sealed up, and it was difficult to get the water. That's what they used to search for other resources for cleaning themselves from the pee and the poo. So this is called istijmar. Istijmar means using the stones. Okay, and also the scholars, they consider using the toilet paper is similar to using the stones, or using any type of cloth to clean yourself or to remove the pee and poo. This is called also istijmar. So istijmar is either you're using the stones, or the toilet paper, or any type of cloth to clean yourself. Alright? While istinja is using the water to clean yourself. Now, the question here comes, which one is better, to use water or to use the other type? So for sure, using water that ensures that all the air will be removed and nothing will be left. While this istijmar means using stones or whatever, it cannot guarantee 100% that all the air removed. Okay, which one is better? So since at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the companies use the istijmar, they use 3 stones. That is the Prophet ﷺ, he told them, use 3 stones to clean yourself. And I'll explain what is that in time. So, because at that time, even though some water is available, but they're still using the stones. So the Prophet ﷺ did not stop them from using stones, although the water is there. So they know that that's what they said, you have the option. Either use this one or using that one. So which one is available for you, which one is more convenient for you, then it is your call. Okay? This helps us, especially in this case. Right. I'm talking about, because I'm talking about, for example, at my work, my job. So we don't have the facility of water in the what. So how can I clean myself if I use the water? So based on these, these conditions, I have the option either to use water if it's available, but if it's not available, I can use the toilet paper. It's your call to make sure that you clean yourself very well. Now the question comes up, I know if I use the toilet paper that it's not 100% clean, so there will be something remaining. So now the scholar they said you clean yourself as much as you can, and what is left, which is a very minor stuff. So this is forgivable. This is forgivable. So you don't need to bother yourself and you think so hard, and you may hurt yourself when you try and squeeze and make very hard cleaning using the toilet paper and the cloth. So clean as much as you can, and what is left, minor thing left, is forgivable. It is forgivable. Aisha radiallahu anha, she said that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, if any one of you went to go for a ghamis, to poo, or Allah make a poo, so he should clean himself with 3 stones. It is good for him. It is good for him. So the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, this hadith is very clear. He did not say a condition that there's water. So you still, even there's water, you can use this option to clean yourself, to remove the dirt by using stones or by using the toilet paper. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran one verse, and I want to bring it up to you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فيه رجال يحبون أن يطهروا والله يحب المطهرين. So this incident, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is praising those people who are they? Who are they? No, that means people of Quba, especially for the masjid of Quba. Okay? So the people of Quba, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praise them? Because they use فيه رجال يحبون أن يطهروا. They love to clean themselves. Okay? And Allah, He gave His comment, والله يحب المطهرين. Okay? I want you to understand this in area. So why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He praised specifically the people of Quba. So that's why they said the people of Quba, when they go for pee or for poo, they used to use the stones, 3 stones to clean themselves. And then after that, they use the water to wash themselves again. So that's why Allah praised them, because they are more focused to clean themselves and make sure they are clean 100%. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He commented, Allahu yuhibbu al-mutahhirin. So now, what is the case? Okay? So either you have the first scenario, you use the water, okay? For everything you clean yourself, you make sure it's 100% clean. Now you are considered that you are mutahhirin. Okay? Now the second opinion, you are not there. Okay? There's maybe you don't want to use water, you want to use toilet paper, for example, or any type of cloth. So you clean yourself with toilet paper, and after that, you use the water to clean after that. Now you are al-mutahhirin. You understand that's why I bring it to you. So when someone brothers ask me, yes, last factor, okay, use the toilet paper, yes, you can use the toilet paper. But if you need perfect, you use the toilet paper, and after that, use the water to make sure that it is gone. It is gone. And one of the issues which I took out last lecture, that some people, they have some doubts, okay? After he finished his pee, and then he has a doubt, oh, maybe after I dress up, maybe some pee dropped, so I can feel it. So the scholars, they said, in this situation, okay, number one, you need to make sure you dry your towel. So use the toilet paper to clean everything. And then after that, use the water to wash. And then the scholars, they said, then you spray water on your aura and on your underwear. Spray water on your aura and on your underwear, so that you will cut off the way for the shaitan to make you doubt or something coming. Okay? Remember, hadith the Prophet ﷺ, he said, while you are praying, the shaitan will come to you when you are in your prayer, and he would blow. The shaitan will blow air into your back hour, so that you can feel the gas, you can feel the air. You can feel the cold of the air, either in your back hour or in your front tower. So the shaitan is not, if he knows that you are a person of doubt, he got you. You start with him. So that's why it's called, you need to cut off the road for the shaitan. How? So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, do not quit your salah until you hear the sound of the gas or you smell the bad smell. Now you are certain that that's Amr. But normally, if you didn't hear the sound, if you didn't smell, okay, then continue with your salah and do not look and do not disturb yourself with the what's going on. Even you feel, or there's some air or some cold, okay, do not bother yourself. Make sure you are secured. How you secure yourself? As I described, as the scholar described. Make good clean, dry, and then wash with water, and then you spray water onto your aura, spray water into your underwear, and then press up, and then you make your wudu and go to prayer, and be confident. Okay? Be confident. Don't let the shaitan play with you. Do it. Now, what is the things which I can choose for the istijmar? Still we have 5 minutes. 3 minutes. You are tight with that? Okay, so I don't want to start with the second topic, but I will end up with this one. So what is the condition? What is the condition for the istijmar? So I am, for example, I'm driving. There's no washroom, and I have to go for pee. So there, what should I use? So what kind of stone should I use? So number one, it has to be a clean stone. Clean stone means it has to be dry. So you can't use a wet stone because the wet stone can't take the urine away from your shower. Right? So it has to be dry stone and clean. So dry and clean. And then it has to be rough stone. So some of the stones are so smooth, like glass, like marble, for example. You cannot use the marble. You cannot use the glass for cleaning your house, to move the urine. Why? Because it doesn't have a friction. So it won't take away any drop of urine from your aura. So that's why you need to use a dry stone. Okay. Now, if there's a toilet there, there's a toilet paper, or you have tissue paper, you can use tissue paper, right? But I'm talking about just in case you are out of these things, then you can use the stones as described by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So what about the dropping of the animals? Now, sometimes in that time before Islam, Arab used to use the dropping of the animals. Dropping that, for example, the dropping of the animals. After it gets dry, it becomes very hard like a stone. So they use it to clean themselves from the khaf, right? So Islam did not allow this. So the Prophet stopped the companions from using the dropping of the animals for their cleaning. And inshallah, we'll tell you about this in details in the next lecture, which we are talking about, inshallah, what is the rules and the sunnah of doing peeing and doing pee and poo, inshallah, the lecture. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, for the dua. If you have any question, you can say, and if you don't, you can leave. Jazakumullah khair. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Salatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Nabi Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma innaka afuwwun kareemun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu 'anna. Allahumma ighfir lana dhunubana wa israfana fi amrina wa thabbit aqdamana wansurna 'ala al-qawmi al-kafirin. Allahumma ij'alna mubarakan marhuma wa tarifan min ba'dihi ma'suma wa la taj'al minna la fiha shaqiyyan wa mahruma. Allahumma ighfir lana dhunubana wa israfana fi amrina wa thabbit aqdamana wansurna 'ala al-qawmi al-kafirin. ربنا هب لنا من ازواجنا وذرياتنا قرة اعين واجعلنا للمتقين اماما ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الاخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم فرج عن اخواننا المستضعفين في السودان وفي غزة وفي صين وفي كل مكان. اللهم فرج عن اخواننا في كل مكان. اللهم ايدهم بالحق. اللهم انصرهم يا نصير. اللهم يا نصير المظلومين. اللهم كن معينا ونصيرا. فرج شرهم اللهم وتل امرهم ولا تسلط عليهم ما يخافك ويرحمهم. وصلى اللهم وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه وسلم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك. جزاك الله خيرا.
The first question is that if a non-Muslim drinks from a water bottle or a bowl, are Muslims allowed to drink or eat from the same plate or bottle?
Yes, so as I mentioned, so the Quran said that the sort of human remaining water of any human is considered clean, even he's kafir. So you can drink, for example, after the kafir